People have got a very short attention span at the moment. So engaging and catching somebody and thinking about that sort of experience is increasingly something that not just that, we're not just incubating it, but a lot of our clients are asking and expecting of it of us as well.
This is Velocitize Talks. I'm Andy North. I'm joined today by James Bavington, Director at StrategiQ. James, thank you for being here today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You recently won Best Small Integrated Search Agency in the UK. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about StrategiQ and a little bit about yourself and what you bring to your clients.
What makes us different as an agency and sort of why we consider ourselves an integrated agency is because we're very focused on strategy. The vision of our founder, Andy, has always been to start with strategy, hence the name of our agency, StrategiQ. So in terms of our approach, we meet with our prospective clients and we really spend a lot of time and effort understanding their business, understanding where they're trying to get to and how they believe digital can help them get there. So for us, it's understanding their needs and working with them to build and tailor a strategy. And then from there, we can start to set campaigns, KPIs, objectives. We involve the whole team so that throughout the process, we're all working together to achieve the same output.
So do your clients come to you with a campaign in mind, perhaps, or they just come to you and say, this is our end goal, can you help us get there? And you sort of lay out the roadmap for that.
Yeah, sometimes. And that's always like one of my favorite parts of the process, because some believe they know what they need to be working on, whether it's their SEO or their website or paid search. Right. And even before we sort of start building them a campaign or designing things, we say, well, let's just slow down and go back a second, back a step. What are you actually trying to achieve? Where do you need to get to? And we will often sort of position perhaps what they think they came to us for in the first instance to show them what we would do once we've sort of established that strategy.
With the glut of content in content marketing, how do you help differentiate your clients? How do you help them set apart and achieve their goals and their strategy with content?
So I guess we try to understand how they're different and how we can capitalize on their values, their brand, and some of the assets, information that they already have around them. It'd be very easy just to come up with a sort of creative piece of content, put their name on it, put it out there, and sort of hope for the best. But I guess what we try to do is just really understand what are the the things that make our client different, their sort of the areas they excel in, or their sort of USPs, bring those to the surface, or even maybe just their values and beliefs as a company, so that we can sort of tie those into a piece of content that will land with their audience.
How important is it for you to bring in your clients' values and beliefs in their marketing?
It can be challenging because a lot of our clients don't really have them. They don't know what they are, because we work with such a different wide range of businesses of different sizes. Some of them know who they are and they can tell you a sort of a narrative of where they're trying to get to, their mission statement, their values or their beliefs. But often we have to work with them to actually tease them out and frame them. And often when we share our values, in our sort of maybe early deck that we'll share with them, they take a lot of inspiration from that. So yeah, it can often be a bit of a discovery phase in sort of helping them find those values, but then often we keep those at the forefront of our work at all times so that we can refer back to them and utilize them.
That's interesting. You're actually working with them as a company, as a brand, to say what is important to you, and then help us help you bring that out in the various deliverables.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember watching I think it's still one of the most popular TED Talks, Simon Sinek's Principle of the Golden Circle, start with why, and it always stayed with me, that kind of concept of saying, well, before you tell them, what you're doing or how you're doing it, why are you doing it? Where are you going? What do you believe in? Help me help you by understanding that part first. And we sometimes do get met with sort of blank expressions, and they'll refer around to, a mission statement or where the brand came from. But it can be a really rewarding exercise to actually blow the dust off something that's already there with them when you sort of position that opportunity for them.
In an era of 8-second attention spans, how important or critical is storytelling, good storytelling? And is it still possible in digital marketing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, for me, storytelling it's about narrative. It could be again, a story of values, beliefs, or opinion. And, I was literally handed my wife's smartphone this morning. She's going, look at this advert, look at this. It was like something to do with Disneyland, Frozen. They'd got some sort of Frozen movie spectacle happening that was opening. And when I was actually sat watching this little piece of content, this video, it was telling the story and the journey of how they made the movie and how you could then go and experience that sort of process with them, fundamentally have a holiday at Disneyland. We've done similar things as well. I think videos are increasingly prominent part of storytelling in digital marketing at the moment. We did some work just recently for Triumph Motorcycles, who are a big part of what's called the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and a group of chaps raising awareness for cancer, men's mental health, sort of swarmed London on some old Triumph motorcycles. And when they originally came to us, they said, well, we'd just like you guys to film it, capture it for us and create a really cool video. But when we actually worked with them to sort of understand the storytelling, it became a completely different video concept with interviews and a story that had a start, a middle and end, and that resonated the purpose and the values of why Triumph were behind that sort of event, raising awareness for such important charities.
Yeah. How important is user experience in telling these stories?
I think it's hugely important. It's something that we're seeing become more and more a key aspect of everything, with not just kind of content marketing, but even the creation of websites, where we're noticing our clients coming to us asking to see data into user experience, trying to understand the choices that we're making in the design or conception stages. And I think it's because, like you said earlier, people have got a very short attention span at the moment. So engaging and catching somebody and thinking about that sort of experience is increasingly something that not just we're not just incubating it, but a lot of our clients are asking and expecting of it of us as well.
How important is personalization? It's obviously a hot topic in the industry today, yet no one seems to have quite captured the formula for it. Are you seeing that? Are your clients coming to you saying, we really want to stress personalization?
Definitely. I do think that's, again, going to be something that websites will need to be doing as standard. I think it's becoming an expectation. The sort of younger generation coming through are going to be certainly demanding that. But you're right, it isn't a very easy thing to implement. We've tried it in varying levels on a lot of our client elements, but to write the necessary functionality that catches and sort of produces the right type of content or experience those people can become very complex very quickly. So I think a lot of people are still wrestling to work with that. And we've had some great success when keeping it simple. But I imagine, like a lot of agencies, when you're trying to implement personalization in a more complex manner, it can very quickly run away with itself.
Yeah. Are there any trends, technology or marketing trends that you're excited about? Personalization obviously might be one of them, or AI or machine learning that you see really making an impact on marketing? Definitely.
I think they're increasingly going to become part and parcel of what we do. They'll all tie in with things like personalization. But one of the things I've also noticed as well, in terms of where I think we're going and things I'm seeing, is brands like, or experiences like Google, Instagram, Facebook, they're trying to keep us on their platform to fulfill the intent of the searcher or the person browsing. Whether it's buying a pair of shoes on Instagram without leaving Instagram, or whether Google are trying to serve you the information about a local business that we traditionally would expect to see on their website. They're trying to fulfill that requirement that's there. So I think users that do come through to our website experiences or gain access to the marketing, the content that we produce, it's got to work exceptionally harder, I think, as we move forward, because people are going to be not only highly critical and expecting of that perfect experience, but I think the people that will be coming down to access our content marketing or our websites are going to be more precious, because I think a lot of other platforms are trying to fulfill their requirements before they get to us and charge for the privilege of doing so.
We've seen websites evolve. They've been the brand image, the storefront, et cetera, for the last 20 to 30 years. What's the future of the website? Do you see it continuing to evolve and grow, or do you see sort of trending towards something else?
Gosh, I mean, obviously it definitely will continue to evolve. I mean, I often look at the basic building blocks that websites are built with today, and they're fairly similar to what I was working with 10 years ago in the most part. But, as we talked earlier about personalization, machine learning, AI, I think websites will have to get a lot cleverer. I think the the increasing demand of user experience, the analysis of conversion rate optimization. I think these are all things that we're seeing influencing websites and how they're produced. There's a lot more work that we're doing at our agency, and that I know friends of mine are doing in their agencies, where they're spending a lot more time incubating the project right at the start to really capture people. So I think it will be a very steady, gradual change. But I think, particularly at our agency, we're anticipating of seeing more people looking for the rationale behind the decisions we're making and the platforms that we're using to build our website projects on.
I wonder if you could share some of the more innovative efforts that you're doing with some of your clients. Obviously, as an award-winning agency, you've done some work that's resonated quite well in the marketplace. Are there any technologies or trends that you really enjoy using with your clients?
We worked with a chain of hairdressers on a variety of elements, but I remember we were talking with them about this sort of this set similar to what we have here in their salons, where they've got this incredible, beautiful logo. It's all really well lit to encourage their customers to actually have their photo taken immediately after it's been, their hair has been sort of styled. And it kind of ties into that campaign that Coca-Cola did successfully. I think it was like hashtag Share a Coke. The idea that a local business with a chain of salons are having their customers do their sort of content marketing for them by having a beautiful photo taken in a well set up area within a salon. It was such a simple idea, really well executed, that's just absolutely taken off and flown for them. And all they have to do is just offer to take the photo for them once they've had their hair styled, and they're hashtagging it, checking in at the salon and showing off the results. Again, similarly, just on the sort of theme of how we work as an integrated agency, some of the results that have been innovative for our clients are how we're working together with various practitioners in our team. We're doing a piece of work for some property developers who are building 800 houses in a city centre, and the way that we've captured some initial drone footage of the site and started to kind of drip feed this content through against their budget for their social campaign, their email marketing campaign. So really utilising and getting a sort of an efficient process with our clients' budgets has been certainly something that we've been recognised for. That isn't necessarily innovative, but it's just how we get the maximum amount of exposure for them out of the sort of budget that they have able to invest.
What are some of the changes you've seen in the integrated agency space, and how do those look going forward?
If I think about our agency specifically, and again, I've got a lot of sort of friends and sort of former colleagues who work in agency. One of the things I've certainly noticed that's been a positive shift is how sort of individual specialists within our teams, whether they're developer, videographer, SEO, or sort of paid marketer, everybody's starting to kind of break outside of the mold of their area of specialism and sort of soften the edges to work more closely, to collaborate with their colleagues on a sort of unified campaign for our clients. So, I'm seeing and hearing developers talk about how they're preparing 301 redirects when they're launching a site without having to be told to, or without having to be directed by a search marketer. And equally, we're just seeing our guys working much more closely together and respecting each other's objectives within a sort of certain campaign, and anticipating what's going to be required of them in their discipline, which has been incredibly rewarding, and one of the main reasons why I love being part of an integrated team, really, because that sort of teamwork and collaboration can produce such amazing results.
My guest today has been James Bavington, Director at StrategiQ. James, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure, thank you.